What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up. It's true. Hey, man. We got AM Hoops. Now, we are back on the Random Reacts. Get ready for them. You know what I'm saying? All summer. Vlogs. IRL streams the rest of summer. You know, June's coming to an end. Also, man, July's around the corner. Should I use Why You Lie? It's July. OG intro. Something else. The most liked one down below in the comments. We'll make it happen. All right, so we just need to, set that off. There's about like 3 more days left of June, bro. It's crazy. It went by, bro, in like 5 seconds. Anyway, man, the title of this video is called "This NBA Draft Made No Sense," and it kind of caught my eye because I kind of like have mixed opinions now that I actually took the time to, look at every single player in the first round's highlights and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm actually very impressed. After looking at all the highlights, after looking at the draft the other day, bro, I'm actually very impressed. Like, this draft actually has some pretty good talent, bro. They have a lot of sleepers. They have a lot of hidden talent. I will say they also have a lot of, like, early 2000s, like, animations and potential, as we all seen through the highlights. So I kind of want to have, like, a little, maybe, argument is necessary to say. Now, it could be clickbait, or he could actually mean it. Let's check it out.
We were told there could be insane trades on draft night. Not Dallas dealing Cooper Flagg, but maybe the Spurs trade number 2. Definitely Sixers at 3. But no, the first trade we got all the way down at number 10, which we already knew about days before. So no big trades, but a lot of what we did get made 0 sense. So the draft starts and a fan yells this right before Adam Silver walks out. Dallas was right! So good. But the Mavs take Cooper Flagg, and afterward Nico Harrison says he now hopes some of the public backlash against him dies down after trading Luka Doncic. Oh, really?
Yo, Nico Harrison really ain't getting sleep, bro. Like, bro, you see, it's weird because people will be doing some flawed stuff. Like, they'll move around very devious and very flawed and shady, and then at the back of their head, they just be like, damn, bro, like, why do I feel this way? Why am I, like, fighting different things and this? Like, bro, you're a shady person. What do you expect? And I'm not even a Mavericks fan, so you feel me? Like, it's just somebody from the outside looking in. Like, bro, you can't be surprised you're getting this outrage reaction when you started the fire. What the fuck?
Public backlash against him dies down after trading Luka Doncic. Oh, really? Because you're so great at your job now, you lucked into the number 1 pick and took the obvious choice? Let's check in on the Mavs draft party to see how that worked out. But the Spurs did not trade the number 2 pick, even though Dylan Harper is the exact type of player they already have. In fact, they've got 2 of them. Rookie of the Year Steph Castle and De'Aaron Fox are both dynamic guards who can't shoot, but Harper could be better than both of them. He didn't reclassify. By the way, if somehow Dylan Harper wins Rookie of the Year, the Spurs will have back-to-back-to-back Rookies of the Year. But Philly shopped this number 3 pick and didn't like any of the offers they got, so they are going full 2 timeline with VJ Edgecombe. But summer's here, and my favorite way to get ready and you talk into it, check them out. That's Joel Embiid and Paul is AMH25. So it is 30-something vets, Joel Embiid and Paul George, then much younger Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and VJ. But 2 timelines suck.
Yeah,
they should either trade Joel Embiid or look to deal a young guy because you need to pick a path. Hornets draft Con Knipple, good shooter with size, we expected it, but at 5, a shock. Ace Bailey skipped workouts with NBA teams. He even scheduled one, plus dinner with the Sixers, and called 48 hours before and was like, hey, cancel the reservations. Why? Because Ace was trying to tank his own draft stock to fall to either DC, New Orleans, or Brooklyn. He feels like he could be a star, and those are the 3 best places for him. But at 5, the Jazz take Ace Bailey, and he hates it. They were like, look, we tanked all year trying to get Cooper Flagg, fell down to 5, so like, dude then had maybe the most random...
I mean, to be honest, like, thinking about it, too, because I remember we reacted to that part, too. We see the whole backstory about this Ace Bailey situation and stuff like that. Bro, to be honest with you, like, the Jazz don't really have a good team. Like, they just have a lot of casuals, you know what I'm saying, throughout the squad. So it's like, he would want to play there, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the teams he named like teams that are just, you know, they're not going to be going to the finals in the next 40 years. So he wants to be like on a team that like he can have all the, basically the shine. And I mean, the Jazz would be low-key perfect. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go there. I mean, because what's the difference between going to the Jazz and then going to the Wizards? Or then going to the Nets?
Quote of all time. What does this even mean?
There was a lot of speculation that built up in your draft process. You know, you seem pretty happy to me to be going to Utah. What do you say to people that maybe just don't believe that?
I mean, I control what I control, so how they feel. But to my team and me, me focusing on the basketball and them doing what they're doing, so it happens.
Right. Maybe my favorite draft night quote since Perk trying to say Moses Moody.
When you look at Moses.
Yo, this happened? Why is the first time I
wasn't the only kid who seemed to hate where he landed. Watch Colin Murray Boyles here after Toronto was announced. Big frown, drops an
Bro, that was
F-bomb.
funny.
His
That was
girlfriend
funny
straight
as hell.
looks like she's hugging somebody at a funeral. Okay, maybe he was happy, I don't know. But it didn't look like it. And why are we seeing so many ungrateful dudes? I mean, it used to be all like Danny Wolf's brother here, just crying with emotion. I think what's going on is NIL. Players used to be blown away at that bank account about to pop. But now, some of these kids have been millionaires for years. So making the NBA is a dream come true, but it doesn't hit in the same way that it used to. So now we're seeing a lot more kids who are unhappy about where they ended up. But we did see some trades. And first, the Grizz got a kid named Cedric Coward, who was playing Division III basketball just a few years ago. He shoots all the way up to D1, then the number 11 pick in the NBA draft. How amazing is that story? But at 13, the Pelicans make one of the dumbest trades we've seen. So the Pelts trade up to number 13 to get Derek Queen, with the Hawks for number 23 and an unprotected first-round pick next year. So they trade up 10 spots and pay an unprotected first-round pick for this? Really? Derek Queen. He might be good, but you don't know. I mean, his comps are Alperen Şengün and Boris Diaw, two of the weirdest NBA players ever. So far from a sure thing, and an unprotected next year, and it's the better pick from either the Pels or the Bucks. This thing could be top 5 easy. Like, just think about the Pelicans. Not gonna have DeJounte Murray most of next year. Zion's health, and they just traded for Jordan Poole. Next year could be Jordan Poole and role players. That pick could go number 1 overall. For Derek Queen. Makes no sense. Same though for the Phoenix Suns. At 10, they take
you think Zion gonna get traded?
Malak, who is a great kid. Best character in the draft, they say.
Yeah, facts.
He is from war-torn South Sudan and super young. But they also traded for Mark Williams, which, health aside, is a great deal. The Suns get Mark for Vasily Micic, the number 29 pick, and the 2029 first-round pick that they got in a trade with Utah. So Mark will be a great pick-and-roll partner for Devin Booker and Jalen Green. He's got the tools to be good on defense. All of this assumes he's healthy, which you can't turn injuries off like in a video game. Remember, Mark Williams is that dude who failed his physical with the Lakers, and the Lakers badly needed a center. They did not fail him for nothing. He ended up playing just 26 minutes per game last year and has played in just 106 out of a possible 246 career games. That is Anthony Davis territory or worse. What are the Suns doing? Oh, and the kicker to all of this, Kaman Malak and Mark Williams are both centers. Yes, they need a center, but have you seen the Suns' depth chart lately? Kinda need a lot of positions. So how are they gonna waste some of the few precious assets that they do have on 2 of the same position? It makes no sense. But the most shocking pick of the night came from Portland. At 16, they trade down to select Hanson Yang, a 7'1" center from China.
This guy's gonna be fire in the NBA, bro.
This is a whole 30 picks ahead of schedule in some projections. 30 picks. No wonder the first thing he did was go and hug his agent, Rich Paul. So they call this kid the
Rich
Chinese
Paul know what's
Jokic,
up.
and he's the first player from
Hey,
China.
he's gonna be, bro. I see it, bro. He literally has early 2000s
taken
energy,
in
bro.
almost a decade. One anonymous NBA exec said, "This is the wildest pick I've ever seen." Those jobs
they
up
got a
there
gym.
are on the
They got a gym, bro. The real thing about a lot of this stuff, bro, with the like just making the league in general, bro, it's more of like half and half, like politics, like who you know, like it's just being as transparent as possible. There is literally probably like at least 1 million missed picks of real, like, you know what I'm saying, like hoopers that have that potential as well too. But with whatever given circumstance, like maybe they couldn't keep their grades up, maybe they just like went to like the wrong school, or you know what I'm saying, that had just a shorter on connections, whatever, etc. That can be having like real like new game changing generational skills like right now. Like in the league. Like there's somebody out there that has so many different animations that we haven't seen before. You know what I'm saying? This is dude named Flight Reacts, bro. Like most likely, it would shake up the league.
Line. So it's safe to say the Blazers must love this kid. But this is the full first round. Again, no big trades at the top like we expected, but still a lot went down. Like 3 more French
Still gotta look
kids,
at this
by
time
the
of
way,
the video we're watching, the second round of the draft. We'll have that up by the week.
being taken in the first round.
Maybe earlier.
Berenger, Asenge, and Traore. What is going on in France? Last year it was 4 French kids in the draft, and the year before that we had Wimby and Bilal Koulibaly at 7. France is already playing USA for gold in the Olympics, so Americans better watch out with all this French talent. Now, a lot did not make sense, but every year we look back on the draft and some NBA GM made some wild decision that paid off. We always get like some Kawhi late in the draft or a Giannis who ends up being way better than everybody expected.
That happens.
But the Celtics are doing something unexpected too. We thought that they would trade Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, which they did. But now rumors say Boston is listening to offers on Jaylen Brown and Derek White. If they're not careful, they could ruin this team.
Hey man, what do you guys have to say about this? Do you think this NBA draft made no sense, or do you think it doesn't make it, or do you think it does make sense? I ain't gonna lie, I feel like from all the knowledge we looked at, I feel like now there was some teams missing out. Obviously my Warriors, you know what I'm saying? I don't still not understand how we don't have a first round pick this 2025 NBA draft. But for the most part, like from what teams like decisions that they made and stuff, like I think so. It's on the edge of more of like makes sense, and then like on neutral, we have to also wait until the season starts. We have to wait until you see how these players perform in actual pro games and everything like that. So I feel like we just have to. It just comes down to a point of time, really.